And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big all Monday, the day after Mother's Day, so hopefully all the mothers out there had a good day. We sent out our Takes by Fans, the first ever Takes by Fans Mother's Day special. Sent out a nice little bet there, Heat plus 1.5, and then bingo bango, they went outright. Didn't even need the 1.5, which we didn't think we needed anyway, so hopefully all the mothers out there bet that Mother's Day special, got all the money, got what they wanted for Mother's Day, and everybody was happy. So, yeah, that was yesterday. Didn't do a show yesterday, so unfortunate there, but we're back today. So today we are going to be trying to fit in the NFC East draft grades. We still got the NFC to do, folks, so hopefully we can get that done this week. Final week of basketball, just tipping off last night. Season ends this Sunday. The regular season in the NBA ends this Sunday, the 16th. So final push. We are going to be kind of, rearranging our power rankings throughout this week. We have to do it for these last 2 days, the Saturday and Sunday. There is some things that we do have to kind of change around a little bit in our power rankings, just slightly. No huge overhaul, but some teams do need to kind of move up a spot, 2 spots up, move down a spot or 2. So we'll also do that today as we're going through the NBA games from last night. We're breaking down the NBA games from last night, doing our moneymaker for tonight's action. And then, as always, talking about the stories of the day. So let's just jump right into it with the first one. This was just breaking. But the Colts are signing former Chiefs #1 overall left tackle Eric Fisher to a 1-year deal worth $9.4 million. So the Colts, they didn't really get a lineman in the draft. They got one in the 7th round. Is he going to really pan out? Probably not, but maybe. So they kind of just shore up their line. Once again, this Colts team really has no other pieces that they need. They went defensive end in the 1st round. That was kind of what they kind of prioritized, what the Colts prioritized as, the one must fix to kind of get us to the Super Bowl. And, that makes total sense to go and get the edge rusher, the pass rusher, because that's what the Bucs did to beat the Chiefs. Got Patrick Mahomes off of his mark. I mean, we all saw the stat. It was like a weird stat of, Patrick Mahomes running like horizontally over 500 yards in the Super Bowl of just escaping the pressure. So the Colts shoring up just their defensive ends. They've got pieces everywhere. We talk about them all the time. The running backs, I mean, folks, they've got 3 great running backs. I can't believe it. And I truly hope they keep all those 3 running backs. Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, and Marlon Mack. Hopefully they keep all those 3 great running backs because they're all freaking great, folks. They can all go get, they can all be a 1,000-yard rusher whenever they want. So we'll see what happens. But shoring up their line to protect Carson Wentz, they definitely need to protect Carson Wentz because, I mean, he is injury prone, unfortunately. Protect the running game even more. So Colts, making that stride, making that extra oomph to get to the Super Bowl. That's why we're so big on the Colts in the Super Bowl this year, coming out of the AFC. We just talked about it last week on the show. You can make a lot of money. I forgot what the official, I think that plus 2,700 was the Colts winning the Super Bowl this year, their odds. So great value there if you decide to take it. And the Colts just shoring up everything else. All right, we got the talent, we got the weapons. All right, let's bring in the defensive end through the draft, and let's go get the former #1 overall tackle in the draft of Eric Fisher. Now, he is coming off of an Achilles tear last year, so a little unfortunate there. But once again, just the Colts signing him to a 1-year deal. They are in a win-now mode. We can kind of, take the risk on Eric Fisher right now, recovering from the Achilles, because we just need a win now. We just need him to be good for this year, and then we'll see what happens, 2-3 years down the line, or just after this year, we can kind of reevaluate everything else. But that's where we are at right now with the Colts. Signed the former Chiefs left tackle Eric Fisher to a 1-year deal. So shoring up their offensive line. Gotta love it. Alrighty, we've been hearing a lot about Zach Wilson. We saw some kind of early film on him through kind of his first couple of practices, and now we get Zach Wilson kind of being a little humble out here. Jets rookie Zach Wilson on starting quarterback job. Quote, that position's got to be earned, so he's not kind of coming in being like, you know what, I know they're going to start me. I know they're their guy. He's still being a little humble out here, knows he has to kind of go through the motions, go through the process of, learning the offense and then getting to the starting job, competing for the starting job. So he's being a little humble out here, but let's see what all these other quotes in this article are all about, since we've been seeing so much Zach Wilson recently. Alrighty, so the number 2 overall selection, along with his fellow 2021 draft mates and undrafted free agents, commenced rookie minicamp on Friday. Wilson said it didn't take long to notice the difference between the college and pro game. Quote, a lot of thinking, way more thinking than you typically want to do in football, but that's a day one kind of thing. I really think it just comes down to the scheme part of it, how much more detailed and complicated to a point, and I think that's what makes it so special. There's so many small things that change the momentum and change a game. That's what separates everybody in this league, the best and worst quarterbacks, whoever it is. It's such a small difference between those, and it really shows you the littlest details are what makes the big difference. So, hey, Zach Wilson knows you have to kind of pay attention to the little things, the small things that, talent and maybe kind of athleticism may take over for. But you always have to kind of come back to those pinpoint details, those minute details to actually win the game. I mean, folks, we see it time and time again in every single NFL season of, a team gets out big, maybe 14-0, but then they end up losing the game. I mean, the losing team in that scenario goes back to the fundamentals, the small details to overcome that big deficit. So Zach Wilson's already kind of figuring that out. Couple of days into their rookie minicamp, so absolutely fantastic. Zach Wilson, big brain quarterback, maybe here with the Jets. All right, what else do we get for this man? Alrighty. All right, him on the starting job. Quote, obviously that's important, but that's not my focus right now. My focus is to learn the offense, keep getting better every single day, do what I can with the guys around me, and I think the rest takes care of itself. In this position, the coaches want to play the best player, and that position's got to be earned. I got to go in there, and I got to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do, and that I take care of itself. So absolutely great here. He's not coming in and knowing he's the starter. Who's the other Jets quarterback, though? That's they obviously don't have Teddy Bridgewater. That wasn't the trade. Let's see, oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, basically he's the starting quarterback. I mean, if I was Zach Wilson, I'd be like, yeah, I'm the starting. What do you think? James Morgan is going to start over me? Mike White? Have y'all ever even heard of any of these players? What was James Morgan even doing in college? I don't even know where this man was. Let's get this up. Zach Wilson's 1,000% going to be the starting quarterback. But here's their kind of number 2 there with the Jets, James Morgan from Bowling Green. And then he went to Florida International. Alrighty. All right, so what has he got? He's got a career of 57% completion percentage. I mean, folks, he threw in 2017, the man threw 45% completion percentage. Absolutely garbage. All right, his overall touchdown to interception ratio was 65-34. So is that even 2-1? Not even 2-1, folks. Absolutely garbage. So yes, this man cannot play. Okay. So yeah, Zach Wilson is going to be the starting quarterback. He doesn't really have to do that much to beat out anybody, but he's going through the process. He's saying everything you have to say as a rookie, being a humble rookie in this league. So we give him the credit for that. But, I mean, he's going to be the starting quarterback, folks. We know this. But, yeah, that's where we're at with Zach Wilson so far, kind of winning us over with just his attitude, his humbleism. And, I don't really put, humbleism, I don't look for humbleism. It's just, it's nice to see when it's there, and it's there with him. So we can appreciate that and see what he does this year. Him and Robert Saleh, man, they both seem like great guys, humble guys that just want to win, will do whatever it takes to win. And we'll see if this combo of a newly acquired head coach, first-time head coach, newly acquired rookie quarterback. I mean, we just saw that with the Panthers last year. They won, they win 4 games, unfortunately. Who else had that? I believe there was one other. Was there one other one? Maybe not. Joe Burrow with the Bengals, they did that. Joe Burrow ends up going down, and I think the Bengals won like 5 or 6 games. So, that's kind of the bar right here. You have to win a minimum of kind of 4 games first year, and 4 games while being competitive in all those other losses. I mean, we don't want to see you get blown out every other game that you did not win, because, the Panthers kept it close in all their games. I don't know if the Bengals kept it close. They kept it close. Let's quickly check that out very quickly. Just to kind of get, a kind of a baseline of what to expect from the Jets this season. I mean, we just had 2 kind of, rookie head coaches with rookie quarterbacks last year. So let's just kind of quickly see what they did quickly. Alrighty, last year the Bengals, that's not what we want. Let's go to this. Here we go. All right, the Bengals went 4-11 last year, so kind of 4 wins is kind of what we're kind of expecting. It's got to be the minimum there. Were the Bengals competitive in all their games? Let's quickly check that as well, and then we'll move off of this. All righty, what do we got here? 3-point loss, 5-point loss, overtime tie, unfortunately. Oh my God, blowout loss, 30-27 there. 4-point loss, 3-point loss. Nice win. 26-point loss. 11-point loss. 2-point loss. 12-point loss. They lost against the Cowboys 30-7, folks. Yikes. And then, another blow. Yeah, so they kind of got blown out. They really weren't that competitive in all their losses. So do a little bit better than the Bengals did. But, yeah, I mean, we got 4 wins between the Panthers and the Bengals. Panthers were more competitive in all their games that they lost, and the Bengals weren't. So that's kind of the benchmark, the lowest bar that we're expecting from the Jets this season. 4 wins while getting blown out in all the losses. That's the minimum the Jets, Zach Wilson, and Robert Saleh have to reach this season. Let's see if they can get it. Alrighty, let's move on to this. I don't really understand all the Tua slander. It's still coming out. I mean, all the, expert analysis don't really like this guy, but, what we saw from him last season, we enjoyed it. I'm not just saying that as a Dolphins fan, folks. I try to be as objective as possible, but, I love this man's accuracy. I absolutely loved how he was placing the ball in all the throws, and just maybe the lackluster offensive play calling, did not help Tua, and definitely our receivers of not kind of being good or being reliable all season definitely hurt Tua. But let's read the article and then we can get into the stats. But Dolphins head coach Brian Flores says that Tua Tagovailoa, quote, doing everything necessary to make some improvements. So that's absolutely fantastic. That's what we want to see, getting better every single year. We're not going to just see what you did year 1 and then just kind of run with that as, the official narrative for the rest of his career. That's nonsense. You got to see, players getting better every single season, and we'll see if Tua can do that. Year 1 was pretty good, and we'll see what happens year 2. Alrighty, Flores told Peter King that he doesn't put all the weight on Tua's shoulders. Quote, I never like to put it all on one player. I think we've got a lot of young players, and we're looking for all these players as well as really everyone on our team to improve in a variety of ways. If they're putting all the work in, I expect them to improve, get better, and perform better. Tua is obviously at the top of that list. He's been working. All signs point to, or I would say, based on my experience, he's doing everything necessary to make some improvements. That's really all we can ask for. My thing is, if you put the work in, the results will take care of themselves. So Brian Flores has kind of no worries, no issues with Tua's work ethic. Tua wants to put the work in. He is putting the work in. And Brian Flores is like, hey, I'm giving you all the scheme. I'm giving you the supporting cast. I'm giving you the freedom to get better. This is how you do it. Just take it or leave it. And so far, Tua's buying in. It seems like all the other players are buying in as well. So we're expecting big things from Tua this season. Brian Flores is saying that, hey, he's doing everything that we've been telling him, that we've kind of laid out for him. That this is how you get better. And he's going and doing it. So we absolutely love it. But let's kind of go back to, just kind of to what we love about him is his accuracy. He comes in rookie year throwing 64% completion percentage. Absolutely fantastic. But when we kind of compare to, the other good quarterbacks that, everybody else says that is just so much better than Tua, his rookie class that he's kind of competing against, Joe Burrow, he threw 65% completion percentage. So just a 1% completion percentage better than Tua. But what did Tua do a little bit better? He won games. He went 6-3 in his 9 games. Joe Burrow played 10 games, went 2-7-1. So yes, Tua a little less completion percentage, but it led to more wins. Gotta love that. Another thing that Tua does very well is doesn't turn the ball over. 5 interceptions, official. We are going to kind of, once the NBA season wraps up, we're going to go very in-depth into, all the narratives that we've been telling about the NFL, that we've been hearing about the NFL, and that's basically what we're going to be doing in the offseason until the NFL starts after the NBA season ends. But, a narrative that we are going to have to dive into is, Tua with his interceptions. A lot of his interceptions kind of got canceled out by a penalty, so we'll definitely look at that. But, his official interceptions that counted were only 5, so we got to give him credit on, those official interceptions. Only 5. We can take that all year. Absolutely. And Joe Burrow had 5 as well. And then Justin Herbert, we praise this man as one of the best rookie quarterbacks of all time, honestly. It was just an absolutely magnificent performance. And, Justin Herbert threw 66% completion percentage. So, Tua's is right up there with these other rookie quarterbacks in his draft class. He's got more wins than these other rookies do. Justin Herbert played 15 games and went 6-9, folks. Tua played 9 games and went 6-3. So you got to give credit to Tua for winning the games, getting the completion percentage done, not turning the ball over. Justin Herbert, he threw 10 interceptions, which, we're still fine with. 10 interceptions your rookie year, that's fine. We've got no problem with that. It's just that Tua threw 5, you know what I mean? So got to give, Tua credit. I don't understand all the slander. He's right up here, and this is an absolutely fantastic rookie quarterback class, folks. Joe Burrow, the 65% completion percentage. Justin Herbert, the 66. These rookies are really slinging the ball, throwing it, and are accurately getting it done. So, Tua's going to be compared with these guys for the rest of his career just because they're all in the same draft class. He's got more wins than his other competition does. So, we'll see how he plays year 2, but we're definitely buying into him. We never bought into the narrative that the Dolphins were going to draft a quarterback this year. We thought it was all nonsense. We are believers in Tua, folks. The accuracy is great. Alrighty, let's move on to this, folks. And, gotta love it. Gotta love it when we talk about things and then, it just gets highlighted once we talk about it. You gotta love seeing that. But, we were the first ones to talk about it, but, we won't brag too much here. But here we go. Last week we talked on the show of Tom Brady. What he would be willing to give up to trade in or to get that perfect season, beating Eli Manning in the Super Bowl and going 19-0. We heard, a little bit of a softball lob. Hey, Tom, would you trade 2 of your 7 rings if it meant you can get the perfect season? And Tom Brady said absolutely. But we kind of picked that apart. We were like, Tom, we want to know, we want to know the more specifics. What is the most that you would give up for those rings? We never heard that, so we had to speculate ourselves and kind of said he would kind of give up 4 rings so we could still have 3 and the perfect season. So we talked about that on the show, and then here comes today. Justin Tuck says that Tom told him something like this years ago, and it was way more than just 2 rings, folks. So now, once again, we've got Tom Brady coming out here saying, hey, yeah, I'd trade 2 rings, for that perfect season, but we want to know the extremes because we want to ask Tom Brady tough questions now. Tom Brady does not deserve any more softball questions. Tom Brady is in another stratosphere of elite quarterbacks, folks. There is nobody else in Tom Brady's league, so we don't have to ask him softball questions. We want to know the specifics. Would you trade all 7 of your rings? Would you trade 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? That's what we want to know. The exact number of rings that Tom Brady would trade in to get the perfect season, 19-0 against against Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. So what we're going to do now, is we didn't do this the first time we did it. That's why we're doing it now. But we're going to go look at every single Super Bowl that Tom Brady's played in and see which ones he probably would get rid of to get that perfect season. So here we go. Tom Brady, 10 Super Bowls. Cannot believe it. Absolutely fantastic. But here we go. His first Super Bowl comes in 2001 against St. Louis. St. Louis Rams. They're not even in St. Louis anymore. They win by 3 points. Fantastic. Would Tom Brady trade in his first Super Bowl win for that kind of ring of the perfect season? So let's see. It's hard to do on this one because it's your first ring. Really don't think Tom Brady would give up ring number 1, especially when it's against Kurt Warner. That means Kurt Warner gets another ring, and when we're looking at the greatest of all time, now kind of revised because Tom Brady's going to be trading in some rings here. He's not going to want to trade in his first against Kurt Warner. So I think, especially, and Marshall Faulk, that means Marshall Faulk gets another ring, and I don't think Tom Brady wants to have the rings. He wants to kind of be the best winner of all time, the most kind of blinged out of all time, the greatest quarterback of all time. So don't really think, and then that means Terry Holt gets a ring, another ring. I don't think he's got a ring, but Terry Holt gets a ring. So these are like three great players, Hall of Fame caliber players that would get a ring. So I don't think Tom Brady would trade in ring number 1, first ring, and then that means Marshall Faulk gets a ring. A rival in the greatest quarterback of all time, Kurt Warner, would get another ring. So do not think Tom Brady would be willing to give away ring 1. So let's count out his first Super Bowl ring. He's going to keep that. Alrighty, then comes the second Super Bowl win against Carolina in 2003. Another 3-point win here. And now this one, he probably could trade in a little bit. The quarterback of the Panthers was Jake Delhomme, folks. That's no competition for greatest of all time. And really, the only good player here that would get a ring would be Steve Smith. So he actually gets a ring, and I'm about Steve Smith getting a ring. I would like that. So I think Tom Brady could definitely trade in ring number 2. Doesn't really hurt too much overall in the kind of greatest quarterback of all time discussion. No other kind of elite players on that Carolina team that could kind of bite him in the butt if he trades in that ring of just kind of being one of the greatest winners of all time. So we can see Tom Brady trading away ring 2. He trades in ring 2. So that's at least one ring. Alrighty, then he goes against Philadelphia. Here we go in 2005. Another 3-point win here for the Patriots. All, clutch time wins here. Very well done. But, the quarterback of the Eagles here was Donovan McNabb. Do you give Donovan McNabb a ring? And look at this man throwing 3 interceptions in a Super Bowl. Absolutely pathetic, dude. Come on, get it together. You are in the biggest game of the year, and you're throwing 3 picks? Terrell Owens would also get a ring. So in that, Andy Reid would get a ring as a head coach, battling out Bill a little bit for greatest kind of winning head coach of all time. So I think, once again, it would be a little hard to give up this Eagles ring just because you're giving it to another great quarterback of Donovan McNabb. So this Super Bowl number 3 ring, definitely harder to give up. I don't think he does. I don't think he trades it in. I don't think he can kind of trade in that Philadelphia ring. So we're not saying that he trades in ring 3. Then comes the 2 losses against the Giants. 2007 they lose, 2011 they lose, and then that comes 2014, back to winning, back to getting another ring that he could potentially trade in here. This time it is against the Seattle Seahawks. Now it may be a little easier to trade in this ring because they basically lost this game anyway. I mean, it just came down to like the final seconds on the goal line. Tom Brady was not expecting the interception by Malcolm Butler to win the Super Bowl. So in that aspect, it would be a little easier to give up this ring because it kind of felt like he didn't win the ring just in general while the game was going on. But then you have to look at, Russell Wilson. He gets another ring. He would have 2 rings. And just that aspect, we're going to be talking of Russell Wilson like we talk about Aaron Rodgers, folks. I mean, truly, we're going to be comparing Russell Wilson to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Maybe a little underwhelming just overall in his career of only winning that 1 ring. Exactly like Aaron Rodgers, he's got the arm. Russell Wilson's got the arm as big as, Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. He's got the escapability. He's great. He's fantastic. He's humble. He's everything. So another ring that would be a little hard to give up against this Seahawks team. Russell Wilson gets another one. So we can't really see that he would trade in the Seattle ring. Then you go against Atlanta and win, and this is another tough ring to kind of trade in because this was the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, one of the greatest comebacks of all time. So I don't know if he's going to trade in this Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl ring. Yes, you give Matt Ryan a ring. I don't really think we're going to be talking about Matt Ryan as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So in that aspect, Tom Brady would probably be willing to trade in this ring, but at the end of the day, it's the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. I don't think he would want to give up that ring. So can't really see him giving up this Atlanta ring either. And then the Philadelphia Super Bowl, they lose that, so can't trade in that ring. And then comes the Rams. He would definitely trade in this ring, folks. A 13-3 win. Jared Goff, he can't even, stay with the Rams. He's not that good. So I would definitely say he would trade in this Rams ring as well. Doesn't really hurt him in the greatest of all time category with Jared Goff. It was a lackluster Super Bowl anyway in terms of offense and offensive scoring. I mean, folks, the Rams put up 3 points. They put up 3 points in the Super Bowl. So I would say that Tom Brady would kind of trade in ring number, which one is this? 3, 4, 5, 6. This is ring 6. All right, so he trades in ring 6. And then just the last one with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think he trades in this one either. Going against Patrick Mahomes, once again going against Andy Reid, beating him. Getting year one with the Bucs. Kind of rubbing it in Bill Belichick's face. This is definitely a ring that really cements Tom Brady as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And it also kind of disrupted the entire NFC East. I mean, we just heard of big kind of outcries of Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson in this offseason of not wanting to play with their teams anymore because of what Tom Brady did year one. So, when you're just talking about it, I'd give away, 2 rings, 3 rings. Yeah, but we want to know specifically which ones because, they all kind of have, their downfalls if you trade these rings in. You trade away the first Super Bowl ring. That's your first one early on in your career against Kurt Warner. So there are kind of, blowbacks of these rings trading in. But we can definitively say, 2 rings looking really, really lackluster compared to all the other ones that you could be able to trade in. Like we said, the Super Bowl against Carolina, no big name quarterback there, nothing to really worry about. And then the Rams, once again, no real big quarterback to worry about in the greatest of all time category, lackluster Super Bowl anyway. So those 2 rings he could definitely trade in. But let's go back to this quote here that Justin Tuck said that it would be more than 2 rings. So if we're just kind of speculating on which actual rings Tom Brady is going to give up, more than 2, it would probably be, if we have to put it in order, maybe the Philadelphia ring. That would probably be the next ring given away. And then maybe the Seattle one, just because, like we said, they basically lost that one anyway. It was basically looking like a loss anyway, so he wouldn't have been losing that much in general, if you can kind of, understand what I'm trying to express there. So I would say at max 4 rings, with, giving up the ring of the Eagles and giving away the ring of the Seahawks. Maybe he gives away the first ring against the St. Louis Rams with Kurt Warner and then keeps the one against Russell Wilson. So that's also another thing. But, we could see definite 2 rings going away. 4, he's kind of compromising, either giving Kurt Warner another ring or Russell Wilson another ring. And that's where it gets a little kind of, all right, now is it truly worth it for one more ring of an undefeated season against the Eli Manning. So, I would definitely love to, know exactly which ones Tom Brady's giving up. And that's something I wish everybody asked Tom Brady. I don't want to hear another question from a reporter that's not related to which rings are Tom Brady giving up to get the perfect season over Eli Manning of going 19-0. So that's the real question. Let's stop asking this man softball questions. He's way too good to be hitting home runs off softball lob questions, folks. I mean, come on. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get down into the details. So, we don't have to wait until, the documentary, The Last Dance, like Michael Jordan that just came out last year, 7-parter documentary, and then we hear all the answers. We want to know now. And then, we'll follow up this question, 20 years down the line as well. But let's get the answer right now and see if anything changes as, quarterbacks start to win. Russell Wilson's going to be playing well after, Tom Brady's gone. So, we can kind of track that as well. But, yeah, let's stop asking Tom Brady softball questions, truly. Let's get down. Let's know exactly detail. Which rings are you giving up? You said you're giving up a definite 2. Which 2? We want to know, because I think we know, but we want to hear from, we want to hear from the horse, man. The horse needs to talk. Tom Brady, start talking. So we'll see if anything comes out of this story, but, we kind of talked about it already, and now we're talking about it again. I love it. I love it. All right, let's keep moving on here. More odds to win, and this time it's odds to win the NFC North. Alrighty, they favor the Packers at number 1 at -115 to win the division. Vikings at +250, Bears at +325, and then the Lions at +2,000. I mean, look at that big jump. They're giving the Lions no credit. And, I agree with that. I mean, I would definitely put the Lions at the last. Jared Goff, I mean, I believe in Jared Goff. I would definitely give this man, the benefit of the doubt coming into the season, but I can't give the benefit of the doubt to Dan Campbell. I mean, I just truly cannot do that. So, yes, the Lions are definitely the worst odds here now. To disrespect them and put them at +2,000, I think that may go a little, that was going a little too far. But, I understand where they're coming from. Alrighty, I definitely agree with the Packers at being -115. I mean, you still got Aaron Rodgers, folks, and, whether he's, happy there or miserable there, it doesn't really matter. I mean, folks, we talk about this same Aaron Rodgers story for, the last 3 years, folks. This is nothing new. We were talking about the same thing when it was Mike McCarthy as a head coach. Now we're talking about the same things when Matt LaFleur is the head coach. So, this story of, Aaron Rodgers not wanting to play and isn't going to play and, telling free agents that, hey, I'm not going to be here, I think it's a little nonsense. He's still going to go out and show out like he does all year. I mean, folks, we heard about Aaron Rodgers being unhappy, and then what did he do 2 years ago? 13-3, got to the NFC Championship game, and then we still heard him crying out, not getting enough, and then they drafted his replacement, and then what did he do? 13-3, NFC Championship game. So, yes, he may be miserable, and, if all these kind of, stories that are coming out are truly legitimate, it doesn't matter. He's still going to go out there and do what he does, and that's win. He's a winning quarterback, at least in the regular season, decent in the postseason, can't get to the big game. But yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to do what he does, and that's to throw the football absolutely almost perfectly, folks. I don't know if there's another more quarterback that can throw the ball like Aaron Rodgers does as perfectly as he does, consistently over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, I agree. The Packers should be the favorites here. What I kind of disagree on is, the Bears being 3 and the Vikings being 2. I put the Bears at number 2. Matt Nagy, do or die year. They've got the infrastructure. Their defense, folks, their defense last year was just so deflated. So deflated because the offense was so trash, the defense would get a stop after a stop after stop, and then the offense was putting up no points ever on any of those stops. So the defense kind of quit at the end of the season. The defense is not going to quit because they got Justin Fields, and I think he's definitely going to be able to kind of elevate the Bears more than Mitch Trubisky was able to elevate them this year. So I would put the Bears at probably kind of switch them around here, maybe at +200, move the Vikings over to probably 300, because am I supposed to kind of, once again, believe in Kirk Cousins? I'm supposed to believe they're supposed to get it done this year? I mean, folks, can you look at all the weapons he has and, his underwhelming winning with all these weapons? I mean, you get rid of Stephon Diggs, but I mean, Adam Thielen moves over to the 1, and then you got Justin Jefferson at the number 2, which was an absolutely stunning rookie season. And then we saw Delvin Cook also fumble the ball. Are we supposed to still believe in him as well? And then the defense. Oh my goodness. The worst thing about the defense last season was the defense. Are we supposed to think it just magically got better in one single offseason when it was like really the worst defense of all? I know they got Patrick Peterson, but he's kind of aging out of this league. He wasn't the greatest with the Cardinals. He's just got kind of a big name attached to him because he was good in his prime. But now that he's aging out of the league, kind of like Richard Sherman, he hasn't found a home yet either. He was great for a couple of seasons, definitely dominated. And we're not trying to knock, Patrick Peterson and Richard Sherman. They're great cornerbacks. They should go down as probably Hall of Fame talent level. It's just hard to maintain dominance and excellence for multiple years. They're outlier seasons, folks. All these great quarterbacks that we've been seeing for the last 10 to 15 years, consistently great. These are outlier quarterbacks, folks. And, that's the one position that, we see a lot of outliers in is the quarterback position because they, lead the team. They are the focal point of the team. So I would probably put the Bears at number 2 there, the Vikings at number 3, but I definitely agree with the 1s and 2 there. And yeah, we'll see more odds get released. And, we'll still, do these with the other divisions. But, yeah, Packers most likely coming out of the NFC North just because it's Aaron Rodgers, folks. Alrighty, let's talk about this really quickly. DK Metcalf. We heard all the news surrounding him that he was going to go and run a race. I don't even know what the race was. I don't know the official distance, but official track race here for DK Metcalf. And he placed 9th in the seat. I think there's like 10 people. It may only be 9 people. Is there only 9 racers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's funny that they kind of word it as finishing 9th place instead of finishing last place in this heat. So, but yeah, I mean, he did come in last in this kind of heat, unfortunate, but, he's a football player, and then, it kind of humbled him, and, we can just look at the sheer difference of just kind of his size at 6'3", 235 pounds, folks. I mean, that's not a track athlete build, and you can clearly just see the size difference of DK Metcalf out here with all these other sprinters. I mean, folks, look, he's looking like a mammoth, folks. So, he doesn't win the race, unfortunately, and that's what everybody was saying, building up to the race. Oh, why the hell is he doing this? He's not going to win. He's going to look like a fool, blah-diddy-blah. But he went out there, didn't care what everybody else said, did not win, unfortunate. And then, he kind of got a newfound respect for these athletes after, this race, and they interviewed him. He was like, there is, now I know that there's truly a difference between, NFL speed and, world-class athletic speed out here. So, DK Metcalf, give him total props to doing this. Another reason why he said that he did it is because everybody else is afraid to do this. Nobody wants to kind of, show that they're slower compared to all of these other athletes in the world. So, the NFL is, one of the biggest sports in the world, at least in America, definitely the number 1 sport. I think that's undisputable. But, NFL players, they think they have, the king of the castle, and they don't want to kind of get dethroned by, showing that they can't do or can get beat by other athletes. So I give a ton of credit here for DK Metcalf. Okay, he didn't win. He still put up a good ass time, and he's still looking real fast out there. And when it comes to the NFL, he's going to hawk and chase you down. So that's all he wants. He just kind of wanted to see where his speed is, and at his build, folks, he's probably not going to be able to catch up with any of these other kind of sprinters out there. Nobody else was 6'3" out there. So DK Metcalf, absolutely well done. What did he run officially? A 10:37, 10.37 seconds. So we give the man credit. Absolutely well done. So, obviously, he's not going to, qualify for the Olympics or anything like that. But, he's going to go back to the Seahawks and still chase down, I forgot who picked him off, but still chase down everybody that picks off Russell Wilson and thinks they're going to get a free pick 6. You better watch out, because we got a DK Metcalf at 6'3", 235 pounds that can run almost as, I mean, folks, we're talking about, 2/10 of a second that, that he got beat by. It seemed like first place here. Seems like they ended the time. Let's see if we can get the official ending timestamp. Seems like first place finished in 10.12 seconds. DK Metcalf finishing at 10.37 seconds, folks. It's 0.2 of a second off away from being, one of the fastest people in the world. So we can understand the 0.2 seconds. All right. So DK Metcalf, fantastic out there, a great athlete. And, hey, he's fast for a football player, and that's all that matters, because he's making money off the football. So, yeah, definitely going to be interesting to watch DK Metcalf again this season. Fast. Holy moly. Now we got to see Tyreek Hill do this and see if he can beat, the 10:37 and try to, compete, because we know Tyreek Hill is one of the fastest receivers out there. So let's see who's actually faster. Tyreek Hill, and he's smaller, so he fits into the build of a classic runner. All right, let's head over to some NBA stories now. LeBron James, he's targeting a return for LeBron is targeting a return for Tuesday's matchup against the Knicks. Well, hopefully, LeBron James isn't coming back too early, and that he's not going to blame, hey, I came back too early and I can't finish the game, and I'm going to be out for, the next 5 games. So hopefully LeBron James is actually feeling 100%. His second return from the injury. But the Lakers just won last night against the Suns. Absolutely great win. They're still competing for to not be in the play-in tournament. Can they get out of there? Let's see. Currently, the Lakers are number 7th in the Western Conference, and they're only a game back from the number 6 seed that the Blazers hold. So, yeah, absolutely, they can kind of get out of the play-in tournament. That's definitely what they want, in my opinion. Nobody wants to be in the play-in tournament. So, we'll see if LeBron James can kind of, be able to push this team past the rest of their teams here. Where they got 4 or 5 games left now. But, hopefully LeBron James doesn't ruin the chemistry. They have to get their chemistry good with all their kind of normal starters heading into the postseason. But we saw, when LeBron James came back, they were a little dysfunctional. They lost a game. They're winning without him. So, you got to implement LeBron James back as soon as possible, obviously. We're just hoping it's actually right to this time and he doesn't kind of retweak his injury, doesn't think he's coming back too early. But watch for LeBron James against the Knicks tomorrow, folks. Going to be a great one. We know the Knicks are looking absolutely fantastic. They just won last night. Just fantastic, beating the Clippers. Well done. Keeping that 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. So LeBron James wants to kind of get it back into some elite competition his first game back. And we'll see how he does. Alrighty, now the odds for the 2021 NBA Championship have come out, and the number one is the Nets at plus 225 of winning the ring, and I thought that was kind of real bizarre, but then they went and beat the Nuggets, so well done to them. But the Nets are the front runner at plus 225 odds, then the Lakers at number 2 at plus 450. What? I like LeBron James, don't get me wrong, and I think this Lakers team is good, but folks, have we seen some of these other teams, the 76ers, the Jazz, the Bucks, the Clippers? Even the Nuggets. We love the Nuggets. And the Lakers being number 2 is a little wild. Then we have the Clippers tied at 2 as well at plus 450. How great are odds of that? But we have to see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George really step it up. They floundered last night against the Knicks. Hopefully they don't flounder in the playoffs. But the real robbery here, the real great value here is the Bucks to win the title this year is at plus 700. We're really feeling like it's the Bucks year this year. We weren't buying into the Bucks last year. We didn't buy into the Bucks 2 years ago, but now we are officially Bucks supporters out here. They're getting it done offensively. They're putting up all the points. They're scoring from the outside, the inside. The bench is great. The fourth player, these role players are great. Drew Holiday's, commanding the floor. Chris Middleton, is getting it done every single game. So this Bucks team, this is the year that we feel they can go all the way. And them at plus 700 is great odds there. The Jazz at plus 750 is, decent as well. We're not, huge buyers of this Jazz team, but they've got the pieces to win. The 76ers, more great value here at plus 900. Joel Embiid, folks, in this starting roster. I know we say it a lot, but it's one of the best starting rosters that there is just, in the entire NBA, honestly. Tobias Harris is fantastic. Danny Green, Seth Curry, you've got 2 lethal outside shooters when they are on. And then the bench of just Dwight Howard, Shake Milton, Thibault just getting it done deep as heck. The starters are all good. You've got, an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid. And, we saw that's one thing that hurt the Nets a couple of games ago. The Bucks beef down low. Giannis just continuing, going for 40 a night. Joel Embiid can do the same thing. And then the Suns at plus 1,400 at the 7th kind of highest ranked to win the title this year. And, we are, big fans of the Suns team as well. They've got nice pieces. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, obviously, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, all looking pretty good, but, their offensive production on some nights is very lackluster. So I don't think it's great value at plus 1,400. And then the Nuggets at plus 2,500 at number 8. We love that as well. You've got the MVP there in Jokic. Absolutely fantastic. They're winning without Jamal Murray. Another great sign. A little thing that we have to kind of pull back on in this Nuggets team is their last 2 games against the Jazz and the Nets. They lost against both of those. So a little concerning there, losing against the best caliber teams at the back end of the season's never great. And we are going to have to reflect that in our power rankings in a couple of segments. But yeah, some good odds here. I don't really understand why the Nets are number 1. They did just go out and beat the Nuggets, but, can they beat the Bucks? Can they even come out of the East? We don't even think so, because you're going to have to face the Bucks and probably the 76ers. You might have to face both of those teams. So, just getting pounded down low. Who's going to stop it? DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. I mean, I like those guys. I was a fan of those, Lob City days with the Clippers of Chris Paul and the big three there. But, they just never got it done. They were just never elite. They were just never great for a 7-game series, deep into the playoff run. They never got to the Western Conference Finals with the Clippers. So, can't trust them, and I'd rather take Giannis and Joel Embiid over DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. I think that's a no-brainer, but definitely in the playoffs, that's where these kind of great superstars of Embiid and Giannis, Giannis, last year MVP winner, Joel Embiid a MVP front runner this year, top 3 at least. So. Bucks at plus 700. I love those odds. I think those are fantastic odds, and I think that's where the best value is, honestly, on this odds chart. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. This was from 2 days ago, but we didn't do the show yesterday, so we have to bring this in. The Wizards beating the Pacers straight up. The Wizards overtaking that 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, so they get the home court advantage for the Pacers in the first round of the play-in tournament. They're a game back from moving up to number 8 to have 2 chances to get into the playoffs. So 1,000% shout out to this Wizards team and Russell Westbrook, especially because he got the win. Wizards are up 1 point here, 132 with a second left. Pacers inbound the ball, and Russell Westbrook blocks the shot there by Karis LeVert, and that's game, baby. So Russell Westbrook, I mean, we love to shout this man out as much as we can. He's winning games because of his great performance, his great hustle on the court. So well done for Russell Westbrook, earning all this great attention, all earning his seeding here in the play-in tournament. So got to respect this Wizards team, and Russell Westbrook 1,000%. Very well done. Alrighty, then also from Saturday, which we weren't able to talk about, is the Nets beating the Nuggets. Absolutely fantastic. They were kind of down bad for the first half of the game. Then they come back, scorching in the third quarter and are able to kind of get the win. So well done for the Nets. We have to kind of shout out Kyrie Irving. He had a great game. I know we clown on Kyrie Irving a lot on this show, and that's not the goal of this show. I just, just some of his, outside personality. When we hear it, we talk about it, but his on-court performance is never in question. And then Saturday, beating the Nuggets, who we have as the number 1 team. So shout out 1,000% to Kyrie Irving on Saturday night. 31 points, 4 assists. He shot 4 of 7 from 3, 64% from the field. So I got to praise Kyrie Irving when the moments come, and the moment came. Unfortunately, we didn't have the show last night, but I still have to fit it in there to be fair to Kyrie Irving. So absolutely well done for Kyrie Irving to get the win, stepping up big, 31 points. Wasn't the leading scorer. That was Kevin Durant, but still the 31 points. He only had 4 assists as well. Would have liked that to get up a little bit more. But at the end of the day, he hit big shots there. Beat the Nuggets, who, like we've said, the best team in the league, according to us, at least during the time. That is going to change in a little bit once we get there. But shout out to the Nets, shout out to Kyrie Irving, shout out to the Wizards, and shout out to Russell Westbrook for those great Saturday performances. Alrighty, those were all the stories to kind of go over for today. So let's head over to the NBA. We'll break down the games from last night, do our moneymaker, kind of tweak our power rankings a little bit, and then we'll head over to the NFC East and start grading their draft performances. Alrighty, so here we go from last night, the first game up. All right, the first game up here is the Heat and the Celtics, in an absolutely huge game for this Heat. The Heat and the Celtics at the 6th and 7th seed. The Celtics could have gotten a game within a game of them, but the Heat go out and win it. Fantastic. They're now 2 games above the Celtics. The Heat are out of the play-in tournament. The Celtics are in the play-in tournament now. The 6 and 7, that's where the cutoff is, folks. If you're 6 and above, you're in the playoffs. If you're 7 or below, 7 through 10, you're in the play-in tournament. So shout out to the Heat last night for getting the win. Absolutely fantastic. What our only moneymaker pick from last night, a hit, bango, Heat +1. And we saw as it got closer to game time, the line totally flipped to Heat +1 is what it was to start with, and then it flipped to Heat -1. So we got the great value. We told y'all. We told the mamas out there on Mother's Day to go and bet this. They did it. Fantastic work. All right. But let's talk about this game now. Heat. Kendrick Nunn still the one there. 12 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Duncan Robinson put up 22 points on 6 of 10 from the 3. Well done. Bam Adebayo, 20 points. Trevor Ariza, 19 points. Wasn't efficient from the 3, but that's all we want from Trevor Ariza. Good defense and at least, 10 to 15 plus points, and he gave us 19. And then Jimmy Butler, leading scorer for the squad, 26 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds on 64% shooting. So the starters were all able to get it done. Goran Dragic had a little bit of a lackluster game. Definitely need to rely on him heavy on the scoring on the bench because there's really nobody else as consistent off the bench as Goran Dragic. But Dragic only 9 points on 3 of 5 from 3, 3 of 10 from the field in total. 7 assists, 3 rebounds to go along with all that. Tyler Hero had a pretty decent game, 12 points and 3 rebounds in only 17 minutes, 2 of 3 from the 3, so just giving them that extra lift that they needed. Luckily, the starters for all the Heat were able to get it done, so they didn't need big games from Dragic and Tyler Hero because they really didn't get that great of games from them. So, well done for the Heat. Absolutely must-win game last night against the Celtics, and they go out and win it. And I believe they face again tomorrow, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but we'll see if the Celtics can maybe get revenge. All right, now let's talk about the Celtics now. Once again, no Jaylen Brown, unfortunately. So a little unfortunate there for the Celtics team. So Kemba Walker's at the 1, Marcus Smart at the 2, Evan Fournier at the 3, Tatum at the 4, and they're rocking with Robert Williams in the starting rotation, but then playing Tristan Thompson more minutes off the bench because Robert Williams only played 11 minutes in the starting lineup. But let's talk about the Celtics team now. Kemba Walker, 18 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He shot 1 of 4 from 3. That's what we're talking about, not kind of abusing the 3 ball. Marcus Smart, 16 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He also shot 1 of 4 from 3. Robert Williams, 4 points, 2 rebounds in only the 11 minutes. Jason Tatum, 29 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 of 6 from 3. And then Evan Fournier, what a great game. Led the team in scoring, 30 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 7 of 11 from 3. I mean, the man was automatic all night. So Evan Fournier tried his damnedest. Jason Tatum tried his damnedest. And the rest of the starters of Kemba Walker and Marcus Smart had pretty good games. Just unfortunately come up a little short here. And let's take a look at this bench. Nothing great, but Aaron Nesmith, what a great performance. 16 points, 4 rebounds. Nothing else great. Tristan Thompson, he had 2 points. He had 12 rebounds, but he played 31 minutes. So well done to Aaron Nesmith. Nothing else great. Peyton Pritchard, 0 points on 0-4 from the field. Somebody that we, who had a decent stretch of games, unfortunately back to floundering. So we'll see if Aaron Nesmith, their rookie that they picked up, can kind of get it done in the playoffs. They definitely need Jaylen Brown back to increase their bench a little bit more, but we'll see how it all works out. But the Celtics lose by 6, 130 to 124. Alrighty, next game up now is the Knicks and the Clippers, and the Knicks beat the Clippers. What a wonderful game here by the Knicks, and a little bit of lackluster performance by Paul George, just a little bit, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Let's start here with the Knicks. Reggie Bullock, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Julius Randle, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. 5 assists. Fantastic. Nerlens Noel, 5 points, 5 rebounds. RJ Barrett putting up the points, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. So that's absolutely fantastic. Elfrid Payton at the 1, 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting. We don't really rely on him. We're just relying on, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Reggie Bullock. They all got it done. And then the big game by Derrick Rose led the team in scoring off the bench. And, we'll see if he ends up making it up into the starting lineup. We kind of saw, with the, we've been tracking it with the Timberwolves, Ricky Rubio, being the starting point guard, but D'Angelo Russell playing better off the bench. They made the switch and it didn't really translate to win. So it is kind of, a tough decision to move Derrick Rose into the starting lineup. But he is still playing starting minutes at 32 minutes. But Derrick Rose, 25 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 of 3 from 3, and 64% from the field. Absolutely great. Taj Gibson put up 8 points and 5 rebounds off the bench as well, and then just nothing else great. Obi Toppin had 7 points on 3 of 4 from the field in 10 minutes, so not bad there either. But the Knicks able to just do just enough to get it done defensively, hold the Clippers to only 100 points. So shout out to that. All right, now let's talk about this Clippers team. Reggie Jackson still at the 1, absolutely love it. All right, so Reggie Jackson, 12 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 57% on only 7 shots. Paul George, though, this is where he gets a little 18 points only, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He shot 2 of 9 from 3. Yikes. Zubac still at the 5, 6 points, 8 rebounds. Marcus Morris, 7 points on 22% from the field. Once again, a little lackluster there. Kawhi Leonard led the team in scoring, and that's no surprise. 29 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 of 9 from 3. But once again, he wasn't efficient, 34% on 26 shots from the field. So definitely could have been a lot better. Paul George could have been a lot better, and everybody else kind of just did not step up, unfortunately. We get Patrick Beverley off the bench, only 3 points on 4 shots. We know he isn't a scorer. That's why we like him off the bench. Rondo, 4 points. He had 8 assists and 8 rebounds. That's all great. And then Nicholas Batum off the bench, 13 points on 62% shooting, 3 of 6 from the 3, so not bad there. But unfortunately, just come up a little short here against the Knicks. They lose close, 106-100. It's still a loss, though, at home. Not great. Alrighty, let's move on to the Pelicans and the Hornets, and the Ball brothers going at it. Unfortunately, Lonzo Ball beats younger brother LaMelo Ball. Unfortunate. But let's see how this kind of win here changes the outcome of the play-in tournament, if it does at all. We get the Pelicans getting the win here. They're now back up to the 11th seed, overpassing the Kings. Kings are unfortunately basically out of it now. But the Pelicans, a game and a half back from that 10th seed of the Spurs. So the Pelicans are back in it now. They're back in it. We'll see if they take advantage. Winning without Zion Williamson. I believe Brandon Ingram also did not play last night. And I think Steven Adams didn't play last night. We'll double check in a second. But, this Pelicans team winning without Zion, it's a little interesting. You got to give it, you got to kind of at least say it's interesting. So we'll see if it is kind of true that they can continue to win without Zion. We know he's probably out for the rest of the regular season. Now, if they make the play-in tournament, who knows if he comes back? Probably not, but we'll see. All right, so the Pelicans only a game and a half back now for that 10th seed, and there's still about, 4 or 5 games left for everybody. So fantastic for the Pelicans there. And then for the Hornets, since they lost, they are now the 8th seed. And, like we said a little bit earlier in the show, the Wizards are only a game back from that 8th seed of having 2 chances. Now, we're in a little bit of a dilemma here because we love to root for Russell Westbrook, but we also want to root for, LaMelo Ball, this Hornets team. So, we're in a little bit of a dilemma here on who to root for. But I think we got to root for Russell Westbrook a little bit more over the Hornets because we can see this Wizards team potentially upsetting some teams here. Where this Hornets team, I don't know in a 7-game series if they'll play that great all those games. So I think I'm rooting for the Wizards a little bit more over the Hornets here to get that 8th seed. But we'll see how it all shakes out for the rest of the week. All right, but let's jump right back into this game now. For this Pelicans team, this is their starting lineup, folks. Lonzo Ball at the 1, Eric Bledsoe at the 2, just their usual stuff. But then Najee Marshall at the 3, James Johnson at the 4, and Willie Hernangomez at the 5, folks. I mean, that's not good. That is not a good starting lineup anymore. But they get the win, so got to give them credit. But here we go. Lonzo Ball, 12 points, 6 assists. He shot 4 of 11 from 3. Eric Bledsoe, he led the team in scoring. Fantastic. Finally, he steps up big time. 24 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 of 9 from 3. Yes, sir. Willie Hernangomez, 9 points, 16 rebounds, just eating on the glass. James Johnson, 17 points, 8 rebounds at the 4. And then Najee Marshall, 13 points, 2 assists, 1 of 5 from the 3. Nothing great there. But then look at this bench. Yes, sir. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, baby. Yes, sir. Getting it done. Playing 21 minutes, 13 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. We'll take that all day. Jackson Hayes, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Love seeing him have success. So the 2 players that we really root for off the bench truly get it done. A huge reason for their success there. So well done for Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jackson Hayes off the bench. Gotta love it. Lonzo Ball, little not great, shooting 28%. Not great. But they do just enough to get the win, so shout out to that. But now let's talk about this Hornets team. Really no reason why they should have lost last night, especially at home. LaMelo Ball did his thing, 22 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. I think he played a little bit better than Lonzo Ball did, but he lost, so unfortunate. Terry Rozier was back on track. Scary Terry was out in full force last night. 43 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds on 7 of 11 from 3 and 61% on 26 shots. So absolutely fantastic there. Bismack Biyombo at the 5, 0 points and 8 rebounds. PJ Washington, 14 points, 12 rebounds. And then Jalen McDaniels, 2 points. He shot 1 of 5 from the field, but a minus 23 on the floor. A true defensive liability out there. Could not get it done. And then off the bench here for the Hornets, Cody Zeller had a good night. 17 points, 8 rebounds coming off the bench. But then Malik Monk, 5 points on 2 of 10 from the field. Caleb Martin, 3 points on 1 of 6 from the field. So the bench here for the Hornets truly let the team down. And just could not get the win there. Nice little, a little unfortunate 2-point loss here for this Hornets team. So well done for Lonzo getting a win without Zion. That's huge. Unfortunate loss for the Hornets. All right, let's keep moving on here. The Mavericks and the Cavs. Mavericks absolutely blow out the Cavs here. 124-97 win. So let's start here with the Mavericks quickly. Still no Porzingis, and Luka Doncic is able to kind of will this team to a win. Once again, Tim Hardaway Jr. being the leading scorer, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Luka Doncic, 15 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Josh Richardson has been truly stepping it up here, and we kind of see this. We see more kind of spread out scoring when Kristaps Porzingis does not play. So I think he may be traded coming up this offseason. Depending on what happens in the playoffs, if he comes back, if they make it to the finals, maybe they don't, maybe they leave him in for one more season, for one more year. But yeah, Porzingis, man, it doesn't seem like he helps this team that much. But that's just what we're seeing so far. Willie Cauley-Stein filling in for Porzingis at the 5, 4.7 rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith at the 4 points on 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. Absolutely not great. But Tim Hardaway Jr. steps up big time here, led the team in scoring, 25 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 7 of 11 from 3. I truly believe this man needs to be a 6th Man of the Year candidate, folks. The last time we looked, I believe on Friday, of just kind of the odds for the 6th Man of the Year, we saw that Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't even a thought. He wasn't even like the top 11. So let's see if he, maybe this game put him over the edge to give him some odds here. And that is not the case. That is not the case, unfortunately. So, he's still eligible, folks. He's still having, more games off the bench than he did starting. And I really think, he's kind of getting snubbed a little bit here. But, he led the team in scoring, stepping up now that he has to be in the starting lineup because they have to kind of shake around their lineup because no Porzingis. So I really love what Tim Hardaway Jr. is doing here for this Mavs team. Truly underrated and a little slept on in totality of what makes this kind of Mavericks team work. Alrighty, and then off the bench, we get a great night by Jalen Brunson, 13 points, 7 assists. He shot 100% on 5 shots. Love that. And actually, Jalen Brunson is on this list, and he is number 3 at plus 1,600 of 6th Man of the Year. So at least somebody from the Mavericks is in discussion, I guess. And then what else do we get? Dwight Powell, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench. Fantastic. Nicola Melli put up 9 points off the bench. Well done. JJ Redick, 6 points, 2 of 6 from 3. A little all right there. Alrighty, and then Boban Marjanovic getting in for 4 minutes because of an absolute blowout, 7 points. Boban Marjanovic is better than Porzingis. I don't care what anybody says. All right, and then we'll go over the Cavs quickly, but they lost. Colin Sexton, still no Darius Garland, unfortunately. Colin Sexton, 24.7 assists. Also, Luka Doncic got ejected in this game for not punching Colin Sexton, unfortunately. Seemed incidental, but they called it and they ejected him. But Colin Sexton, 24 points, led the team in scoring. Jared Allen, 5 points. Isaac Okoro, 12 points. C.D. Osman not playing. Anderson Varejao playing 16 minutes off the bench at minus 17. We didn't even know that man was in the league. And then off the bench was where all their scoring came from because they all played good minutes. But nothing good from the Cavs starters. Classic Cavs. All right, let's keep going on here. Timberwolves Magic, a blowout win by the Timberwolves expected against this Magic team. So let's talk about this one. D'Angelo Russell and Ricky Rubio both in the starting lineup. Anthony Edwards at the 3, Karl Anthony Towns at the 5, and D'Angelo Russell at the 2. But here we go. The starters absolutely got it done last night. Ricky Rubio, 18 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell, 27 points, led the team in scoring with Karl Anthony Towns at 27 points, but 5 of 9 from 3, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, a great night. Karl Anthony Towns, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Anthony Edwards, 16 points, 5 assists, 10 rebounds, and then Jared Vanderbilt at the 4 8 points and 8 rebounds. So an absolute great game here by the starters of this Timberwolves team. And this is what I'm talking about, man. D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, they all work together. Hopefully they can keep the band together for next year. Add one extra piece maybe for the bench. And now we're talking about an absolutely playoff contender team. Anything good off the bench? We get Naz Reid, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench. We'll take that. And then let's also shout out Jalen Noel, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists off the bench. So well done for the Timberwolves last night. And then for the Magic, anything good here? Leading scorer was RJ Hampton off the bench with 19 points and 5 rebounds. Gary Harris still not doing anything for this Magic team. Unfortunate, 6 points in 23 minutes. Mo Bamba still at the 5, 3 points, 5 rebounds, nothing great. Moritz Wagner, 11 points, 5 rebounds, just mediocre. So nothing great on this Magic team. They're not going to be in the play-in tournament. They're not going to be in the playoffs, so goodbye. At least the Timberwolves, yeah, they're not in the playoffs either or the play-in tournament, but they're at least good. At least they're a good team. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. The Bulls and the Pistons in another great win here by this Bulls team to be able to, still be in the playoff hunt. And, this is exactly what we want. We want the Wizards at 9, and then we want the Pacers at 10. So if the Bulls do get in, the Pacers fall out by default. So that's what we're hoping for. They're 2.5 games back still of the Pacers. But the Bulls get the win, so let's start with them. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, Thaddeus Young back in the starting lineup. Daniel Tice not playing, so Thaddeus Young goes back in the starting lineup at the 4, and then Patrick Williams at the 5. But here we go. Kobe White, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 11 from 3. We love that. Fantastic night. Zach LaVine, 30 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 3 of 5 from 3, 62% from the field. Well done. Then we get Vucevic, 29 points, 16 rebounds. So this was a great game to show that all these 3 players can work together on the floor. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Vucevic. They're all getting it done. They all put up 20-plus points, and they all had a great night. So the fact that they're all working together, that's a nice little green flag that's starting to arise. Let's just see if they can kind of capitalize and maybe try to get a little lucky and get into the play-in tournament. Thaddeus Young at the 4, 11 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He was a plus 19 on the floor, the highest plus minus margin of the group. Zach LaVine was also a plus 19. And then Patrick Williams at the 3 to round out the starters, 4 points on 4 shots. Nothing great off the bench. Garrett Temple, 1 point on 0 of 2 from the field. Lauri Markkanen, 2 points on 2 shots. Javonte Green, 4 points on 3 shots. And then Thomas Ortansky, 6 points on 4 shots. So really nothing great off the bench, which we know. So we'll see what happens here for this Bulls team. But if the starters can just get it all done by themselves, Daniel Tice comes back, maybe they can squeak in there in the play-in tournament. Alrighty, the Pistons now. Sadiq Bey, 20 points. Well done. 7 rebounds to go along with that. Isaiah Stewart, 19 points. Killian Hayes at the 1 led the team in scoring, 21 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. A real great night by him. But, no Jeremy Grant, so no reason to win. So, Pistons lose by 12, 108-96 over the Bulls. Let's keep moving on here. The Lakers and the Suns in a really bad loss against the Suns here against this a little lackluster Lakers team. Yes, Anthony Davis went off, but really, come on. DeAndre Ayton should be locking him up a little bit more better. The offense, this Lakers team should not be putting up 123 points. I get that Anthony Davis went for 42, but they don't really have any great shooters anywhere else or great scorers anywhere else, especially once again without Dennis Schroeder in the lineup. All right, but let's talk about this Lakers team since they won. Alex Caruso at the 1, 17 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. He had a good night finally. KCP also had a good night at the 2, 17 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 of 9 from 3. Andre Drummond, 6 points, 10 rebounds. He's been very lackluster of what we saw from that Cavs, early games. But Andre Drummond, a little lackluster here. Anthony Davis at the 4, 42 big old points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals, getting it done. He shot 1 of 5 from 3, so not the greatest there, but hey, 42 points, we can't knock anything. And then Wesley Matthews at the 3, 9 points, 2 rebounds. No Kyle Kuzma. Once again, that's Kyle Kuzma is weird, yo. When he's like the only one, when Anthony Davis isn't playing, when LeBron James not playing, he'll go for like 25 or 30. But then when, Anthony Davis plays, he doesn't even start, and then he only puts up like 4 points on awful shooting. Kyle Kuzma, man, he's really, he doesn't help this team that much, in my opinion, in wins. Alrighty. And then off the bench, anything good here? Montrezl Harrell, 12 points, 3 rebounds, not the worst. Taylor Horton-Tucker, only 7 points. But then Ben McLemore, there he is, back again, folks. 12 points on 4 of 7 from 3. They definitely need him to kind of shoot the ball well, and he does. And he's one of the most consistent shooters on this team, and he just got here. So Lakers get the win. Absolutely fantastic. Now let's talk about the Suns team. Truly disappointing loss here for the Suns. Their kind of classic lineup of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Torrey Craig still at the 3, only played 9 minutes. Jay Crowder did play 27 minutes, so they basically have their bigs there. And then McCall Bridges at the 3 still. So Chris Paul, 13 points, 10 assists. Devin Booker, only 21 points, so a little lackluster there. And he only shot 35%. So once again, if Devin Booker doesn't step up scoring, nobody else really does. And then when Devin Booker has a great night, it's kind of hard. Well, it's not hard, but we do see some of their losses where, everybody else just flounders scoring. So that is still a little bit of a red flag that's starting to keep growing here. It started off small, but now it's just slowly getting bigger and bigger. The other players on the Suns team, they kind of flounder in the scoring department. And that's what we got last night. Chris Paul only 13 points. DeAndre Ayton only 6 points. I mean, feed that man down low. Torrey Craig only played 9 minutes for those 2 points. McCall Bridges put up 15 points on, 75% shooting. That was pretty good. Off the bench here for the Suns, they all got it done. I mean, this is why the game was competitive, because of the bench. Jay Crowder put up 13 points. Cameron Payne put up 24 points on 90% shooting. The only shot he missed was a 3-pointer. So fantastic. And then Frank Kaminsky, 9 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, also off the bench. It's just, a little unfortunate. Devin Booker only went for 21. I mean, they really need Devin Booker to go for like 25, 30 plus points every single night. So, little unfortunate, little lackluster scoring here by the Suns contributes to their loss. And then the last game of the night, the Kings and the Thunder. Kings blow out the Thunder 126-98. Is it what are the Kings now? We kind of lost interest in them because they lost head up against the Spurs. That was a huge game. They lost it, and we're kind of done with them. You lose that game, why should we even kind of root for you now? You just lost against the best chance you had to get in the play-in tournament. So, all right, you can beat the Thunder. Congrats. It doesn't really change anything too much here. We can start with the Kings quickly. Still no De'Aaron Fox, unfortunately. So D'Lon right at the 1, 15 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Buddy Hield, 14 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds on 4 of 10 from 3. Raquan Holmes still getting it done at the 5, 15 points, 4 rebounds. Marvin Bagley, 13 points, 9 rebounds. And Maurice Harkless, 18 points, 5 rebounds. And then the bench, I mean, they had a nice night by everybody, really. Damian Jones, 11 points, 6 rebounds. Chimize, Metu, 13 points, 9 rebounds. So, it's a lackluster opponent against this Thunder team. They seem to be actively tanking. I mean, they're just getting blown out in every single game. Luguentz Dort not playing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's out for the rest of the season. So it's just really Alexev Puko-Savetsky out here. 13 points, 5 assists, 2 of 7 from 3. Nothing great. We can shout out Darius Baisley. He led the team in scoring, 18.6 rebounds. But, the Kings get the win. That's it. Thunder are just pure trash. Alrighty, that was the NBA from last night. Let's quickly update the power rankings here. We have the Nuggets at 1. We have to move them back. So they lost these last 2 games, folks, against the Nets and the Jazz, and they were still close games. But at the end of the day, they are losses here, and we are kind of weighing these last 5-6 games here. We're weighing them heavy. So this week we're going to be kind of fluctuating the power rankings when we see necessary, and that's what we have to do right now with this Nuggets team. We just cannot leave them at number 1. We're not going to drop them back too much here, but we are going to drop them back a little bit. So we're going to move the Nuggets back to 3 here. And then we're just moving the Bucks and the 76ers up 1 spot. So the 76ers move from 3 to 2. And the Bucks are going to be the new number 1 team now. Nobody else really has to get moved. We're keeping Bulls at number 11 because now they are in a nice position to kind of steal. They are in a position to steal. Maybe we can move the Pelicans. Pelicans or Bulls? Let's put the Pelicans at number 11. Let's give them a shot at number 11. Why not? They just won without any of their good players. So, yeah, we'll put the Pelicans at number 11. Let's give them a chance. We gave the Kings a chance. We gave the Bulls a chance. They both kind of floundered. So let's see what the Pelicans do here at number 11. The kind of, the free spot. All right. But we don't have to move anybody else back too much. Clippers are going to stay at 4 because they just lost last night. We probably could move the Jazz up a little bit. What did they do in their last couple of games? Anything good? I don't think they faced anybody good. But yeah, we don't really need to move anybody else right now. We just need to move that Nuggets team out of the top spot, and we'll replace them with the Bucks. So this is the new power rankings as of Monday. Bucks 1, 76ers 2, Nuggets 3, Clippers 4, Jazz 5, Suns 6, Knicks 7, Mavs 8, Wizards 9, Hawks 10, Pelicans are 11. Alrighty, now let's see what's on tap today in the NBA, and we'll get our moneymaker going. Took yesterday off of our money. Well, not really. I mean, we still had the game from last night. We went 1 of 1. It was just a nice little one-teamer, but hey, it hit, so we love it. Alrighty, so this is what we have on deck for today, folks. Alrighty, we got the Wizards and the Hawks. A huge game here for both of these teams. Once again, the Wizards, they have the ability to move up to that 8th seed, and they definitely want that for 2 chances. If you're 7-8, you get 2 chances in the play-in tournament. If you're 9-10, it is win and go home, or lose and go home. The Hawks still kind of vying for the 4th seed to have home court advantage. They could also drop down to the 6th seed. If they do drop down to the 6th seed, they would have to face the Bucks first round. Now, would you rather face the Knicks or the Bucks? I'm taking the Knicks, but y'all can face who y'all want. I want to face the Knicks. So, I do not want to face that Bucks team. No way. So, yeah, the Hawks, a huge game here to kind of keep pace for that 5th seed, to potential keep pace for a potential move up of the 4th seed of home court advantage. So that's going to be a great game. Pacers, Cavs. Hopefully the Pacers lose, y'all. I do not want to see the Pacers in the play-in tournament. Pelicans, Grizzlies, a huge game here. Pelicans to get into the playoff tournament. Grizzlies to try to potentially move to number 8 for, once again, 2 chances at the playoff spot. Bucks, Spurs, big game for the Spurs to keep pace at the number 10 seed. Jazz, Warriors, big game for the Warriors to keep at pace at number 8. And the Rockets and the Blazers. And once again, huge game for the Rockets to keep pace at number 6, to not fall to number 7, to not fall into the play-in tournament, to keep their playoff spot. So huge games on tonight. Huge implications in everything. Just seeding in general, play-in tournament, not in the play-in tournament. So huge everywhere, folks. Alrighty, so let's get these lines up to date here. Am I on the wrong date here? What the hell is going on? Wizards, Hawks. What is this? Yeah, thank you. Alrighty, we're good now. Alrighty, let me blow my nose and then we'll get right into it. Alrighty, we are all good. The lines are officially up to date. And holy moly. Alrighty, the first one up, we may get some good value, but there must be some people not playing because there's no reason the spread should be like this, in my opinion. But here we go. First game up, Wizards, Hawks. Wizards +8. +8? What are we nuts? Who's missing? Who's not playing? There's got to be somebody. And there it is. There it is right there. Bradley Beal is out for the Wizards tonight. A huge game. A huge blow to them. And then for the Hawks, just Tony Snell is a game-time decision, and Cam Reddish are out. But, hey, man, I got to rock with this Wizards team, man. I know Russell Westbrook always steps it up, man. I think he's going to step it up tonight. A huge game, like we said, for both of these teams. But for this Wizards team to be able to potentially get to that number 8 seed, it's going to be huge for them for 2 chances at the actual playoffs instead of just being number 9 and, one and done potentially. So, huge game for the Wizards tonight. It is going to be tough, man. Bradley Beal gives us like 30 to 40 points every single game, and this Wizards team, they're not the deepest off the bench. Somebody's definitely going to have to step up absolutely big time here for this Wizards team. Hopefully it's Davis Bertans. We'll see if he gets into the starting lineup. We'll see. Yeah, who are they going to stick in that starting lineup? Probably could be Davis Bertans. Where are we at? They just played last night or no? No. Alrighty. But, let's rock with the Wizards here, man. 8 points. Yes, sir. Let's see how this Hawks team is still kind of rolling. But this Wizards team, can Russell Westbrook, I mean, this is a huge test for just Russell Westbrook. Can he single-handedly by himself lead this team to a competitive game, to a win? Let's see what happens. We'll take the Wizards +8. Let's rock with them and give Russell Westbrook a chance. All right, next game up is the Pacers and the Cavs. Pacers -8.5, Cavs +8.5. Jeremy Lamb, game time decision. Malcolm Brogdon, game time decision. And Miles Turner is still out. We know that. And then for the Cavs, C.D. Osman, game time decision. Darius Garland, game time decision. Isaiah Hartenstein, game time decision. So, too many question marks here for both these teams. Two not good teams. I do not care about this Pacers team at all, folks. I really wish they would just get out of the play-in tournament, wasting a spot. So we'll stay away from this one. Nothing great there in value. All right, then we get the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. And man, oh man, we might be betting on this Pelicans team. Look at the spread. Pelicans +9, Grizzlies -9. For the Pelicans, Steven Adams is a game time decision. Josh Hart is a game time decision. Look at this. Brandon Ingram, game time decision. He could be back, y'all. That's fantastic. And same thing with Josh Hart getting their bench back together. And we know Zion's out, but they just won without Zion. That's a huge good sign. And then for the Grizzlies, just Grayson Allen is out. But I'm going to take the Pelicans +9 here, folks. We just swapped them out to that 11th seed of, play-in tournament caliber team, giving them a chance to highlight them a little bit. A great game last night. Lonzo didn't really get it done by himself, but everybody else really truly stepped up in that game. So we'll take the 9 points here. Grizzlies, they're in the play-in tournament. At number 9, have the chance to get to number 8, but without Grayson Allen, how does everybody else go? And this Grizzlies team is anything great. They're always right about 500, so I can take these 9 points, and I'm feeling real good about it. So Pelicans +9, man, do or die teams. Washington, Pelicans taking the points. We love it. All right, let's keep going here. Spurs and Bucks. Bucks -7, Spurs +7. Alrighty, for the Bucks, everybody's good to go, and then for the Spurs, just Trey Lyles is a game time decision. We are going to stay away from this one. Spurs, they are just kind of, real hit and miss, real hit and miss on what they do on a consistent basis, and they are just trying to keep their position at number 10. So another huge game for this Pelicans team. Potentially able to kind of move up if they get the win, but they got to win first and then hope for the Spurs loss. So we'll stay away from Spurs Bucks. We'll stay away from that. And then we get the Jazz and the Warriors. Jazz -2.5, Warriors +2.5. Real interesting spread here. For the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell's out and Mike Conley is still out. And then for the Warriors, Kelly Oubre Jr. out, Damian Lee is out. So this Jazz team now 2 games above the Suns for that first seed in the Western Conference because the Suns just keep losing games they probably should not be losing. But the Jazz -2.5 here is looking like good value. Gonna probably stay away from it because this Warriors team has a chance to keep this number 8 seed. 2 chances at the playoffs. That's huge, folks. That's truly huge. So we'll stay away from the Warriors game. I feel like these odds, this is feeling like a little bit of a trap game to me. The Warriors, their 3-point shooting, and look at this. I mean, folks, the Jazz, the only reason why they're kind of competitive and still winning games without Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell is because of Bogdanovich going for like 40 points a game. So if he's not out there shooting the ball, this Jazz team's not going to win. So I think this may be a little bit of a sucker bet here, honestly, and I'm going to stay away from it because we're not trying to look like suckers out here. So Jazz -2.5, it's looking like great value. I don't think they win. I don't think they're going to win this game. So we'll stay away from it. And then the last game of the night, the Rockets and the Blazers. Rockets +14.5, Blazers -14.5. Just going to stay away from it because, this is way too big of a spread that I want to be a part of. Either way, swallowing or getting points. Can't trust the Rockets at all, so not taking the points. But for the Rockets, Eric Gordon out, Kelly Olynyk, game time decision. John Wall's out, Avery Bradley's out, Sterling Brown is out, Christian Wood's a game time decision. Dante Exum is out, DJ Wilson's out, Kevin Porter's out, David Waba's out. And then for the Blazers, just Carmelo Anthony's a game time decision. So we'll stay away from that one. Not really great value there of that spread. So we'll stick with just Wizards +8 and Pelicans +9. 2 teams that want to kind of, advance their seeding, advance their standings, and we got a lot of points with them. We'll take that all day. Wizards +8, Pelicans +9. Feeling great about this moneymaker tonight. Alrighty, let's head over to the NFC East and now start grading some draft performances. Yes, sir. We've officially have gone through the AFC. We've done all the AFC, and now we can kind of look back and start looking at these AFC teams now. So the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Washington football team will be evaluating their draft today, giving them a letter grade. We've given out a couple of A's so far. The Jets are one. I keep forgetting which ones we've given A's to. Who do we give an A to? We just gave we gave an F to somebody. Our first F. But we gave the, where are we at? Yeah, we gave the Houston Texans an F. What an awful draft. And then the Titans get the A-, the Jags get the A-, and the Jets get the A+. So we'll see if any of these NFC East teams can get a nice high letter grade. So let's start here with the Washington football team. Alrighty. First round pick at number 19, they get a linebacker. Once again, shoring up their defense. That was the best thing about Washington last season. Ron Rivera can get it done himself. Or Ron Rivera can just coach himself. Let me fix this real quick. Ron Rivera can just, coach defense himself. He's not worried about it. And, they just shore up their defense with the linebacker at number 1. I love that. Then in the second round, Samuel Cosmi, an offensive lineman shoring up, trying to protect. They didn't get a quarterback in this draft, which I absolutely love. I can rock with Taylor Heineke, definitely backed up with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Absolutely, I can rock with that for 1 year. Shoring up that line so they don't get hit. So fantastic there. And then in the third round, they get Benjamin St. Just, a cornerback. Fantastic. Shoring up, once again, their defense that, is basically, the best thing about this Washington team. Like we said, the offense is all right. No real A1, tier 1 superstar players out there. They got Terry McLaurin that kind of panned out very well last year. Let's see if he can take the year 2 leap. And let's see if everybody else around them can kind of, elevate their game as well. Then also in the third round, they get De'Ami Brown, a wide receiver for their, Taylor Heineke if he's going to be the starter. But a nice kind of tall wide receiver out here, 6'1". So very well done there. Then they also get in the fourth round, John Bates, tight end. How tall is he? Nice 6'5" tight end, a great tall tight end. That's exactly what you want in this league. Fifth round, they get Derek Forrest, a safety. Sixth round, they get a safety again, or a long snapper, and Cameron Cheeseman, folks. Cameron Cheeseman. They draft that man. Sixth round pick. Seventh round pick, they get 3 picks. William Bradley King, linebacker. Shaka Toney, defensive end. And then the last pick, they go wide receiver again, and a nice tall wide receiver at 6'1" to potentially pan out. Seventh round pick, boom or bust. Probably going to be a bust, but go for the height. So, Washington football team, just like, I'm fine with them not taking a quarterback, truly 100% fine with that. I'm not going to knock them for not taking a quarterback. I think that's the right decision. We've heard time and time again that Ron Rivera is not going to overreach for players. He's going to work with whatever they've got, and if that's not great players or A1 tier 1 players, they're not worried about that because they can still win. They just won the division last year at 7-9, so fantastic. But, Antonio Gibson at the running back, a solid running back here. 795 yards, so just under that 1,000-yard mark, but still solid work. They shored up the line for him to be even better. Terry McLaurin had a great year last season, 1,100 yards for their number 1 wide receiver. They have Curtis Samuel, so they don't need that kind of that kind of first, second, third round tight or wide receiver pick, or just kind of first and second. So just really shoring up their defense. I love it. So there's really no holes to fill here for this Washington team, in our opinion. Just real solid talent that we know Ron Rivera is going to elevate here. So we're going to give them a solid B+. Not overreaching for a running back or a wide receiver or a quarterback was fantastic. Shoring up their defense. Let's run it back defensively. And, let's just kind of have our offense be game managers. Whether that's going to be Taylor Heineke or Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick can win games. We know Taylor Heineke can be competitive. He went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady first round of the playoffs. Got to give him the man some credit. So, going to have this entire offseason to kind of work and learn. So, well done by the Washington football team. Good draft. We give them a B+. Alrighty, now let's go to the Giants now. Alrighty, and probably one of the most surprising first-round picks in this year's draft was Kadarius Toney, wide receiver. Now, they didn't need a wide receiver, but Kadarius Toney, folks, everyone's talking about Jalen Waddle being the next kind of Tyreek Hill. No, it's Kadarius Toney, folks. This man's got amazing speed. He's 6 foot, looking real great out here, and an absolute, I don't want to say steal in this draft, but what a pickup. It's a great pickup. Didn't really need him, but hey, got a nice, explosive, huge boom potential in this league. Kadarius Toney, first-round pick. And then in the second round, they get Azeez Ujulari, linebacker. We're big on him. Third round, they go Aaron Robinson, corner. Fourth round, they go Ellerson Smith, linebacker. And then in the sixth round, they go pick up a running back. Just because. I mean, yes, they've got Saquon Barkley, and there's no real great running back talent in this draft class besides Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. And then in the sixth round as well, their last pick, they get Rodarius Williams, a cornerback. So just shoring up their team a little bit more. When we look at their depth chart, they don't really need any offensive weapons. That's why the Kadarius Toney pick was a little out of right field because, I mean, you've got Kenny Galladay, you've got Sterling Shepard, you got Darius Slade. I mean, these are nice pass catchers. And then you got Evan Ingram as a tight end position. But this Kadarius Toney pickup could honestly, I have him projected at being kind of the number 2 wide receiver come week 1. Kenny Galladay number 1, Kadarius Toney number 2. I mean, you got the size and the speed. Kenny Galladay, what is he, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4"? Oh my goodness, even better. So you got the tall wide receiver at Kenny Galladay. You got the, decently tall 6 foot fast, folks. He's so freaking quick, man, of Kadarius Toney. So Saquon Barkley's back. You don't need the running back. Daniel Jones is the guy. They don't need the quarterback. Their line's good, and defense just shoring it up a little bit. I mean, look at this. Look at this defensive back crew of, Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers. I'm a big fan of Jabril Peppers, too. Azeez Ujulari at the linebacker position. You got Leonard Williams up front. So very solid draft here for the Giants. Didn't really need anything big. I liked, a little bit of maybe a luxury pick here at number 1 that they maybe this season's going to tell whether this Kadarius Toney kind of, luxury pick, splurge pick at the first overall pick or first round pick is going to pan out or not. But I'm going to give this Giants draft class a solid B here. They didn't really need anything too much. Maybe shore up their line a little bit. But at the end of the day, they got a nice kind of wide receiver talent, short up their defense a little bit. So we'll give them a solid B here. Alrighty, now let's go to the Cowboys now. Alrighty, what do they need? Well, they need defense, and man, oh man, they just win mother-loving defense, folks. First round pick, Micah Parsons, linebacker. He's going to be great. He's going to be a week 1 starter, absolutely. Second round pick, Kelvin Johnson, cornerback. Third round pick, Osa Odighizuwa. I butchered that, and I truly apologize. Defensive tackle. Third round pick, Chauncey Golston, defensive end. Third round pick, folks, they had three third round picks. Fantastic. All defense, fantastic. Third round pick, Nashawn Wright, cornerback. Fourth round pick, Jabril Cox, inside linebacker. Jabril Cox. What the heck? Hang on. Okay, yeah. Okay, I had another name in my head for some reason. All right. But yeah, Jabril Cox, linebacker, is going to be great. Josh Ball, 4th round pick, offensive tackle, so shoring up their line a little bit. That was they had 3 offensive picks in this draft, but they had like 10 picks in total. And man, oh man, the biggest deal of the draft is right here, folks, at the 5th round pick, Semi Fayoko. He's going to be an absolute stud, folks. 6'4", big, great hands, powerful. And, a little unfortunate that this Cowboys team already has great wide receivers because this man is going to play and can really be a starter week 1, in my opinion. He's so freaking great. And, a little bit of a hidden gem in this year's draft, but we think he's going to pan out absolutely fantastic. So, Semi Fayoko, great pick up there at the 5th round. 6th round, they go Quinton Bohanna, defensive tackle. 6th round, they go Israel Mukuromo, cornerback. And then the last pick, 7th round, Matt Farionok, guard. So shoring up their defense, that's really all they need. They didn't need the wide receivers. They didn't need the running back. They're good there. Amari Cooper, Zeke Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Blake Jarwin at the tight end position. So just filling up that defense that was absolutely lackluster all season long. And then the Semi Fayoko hidden gem pickup as well. I gotta give this Cowboys draft an A-, honestly. They've got the defense now. And if Dak Prescott can kind of return to his form, instantly without kind of having this kind of, injury, post-injury slump season, this Cowboys team is going to be dangerous to rock with. But Mike McCarthy needs to step up, and Dak Prescott needs to get it done. I mean, that's really the only 2 factors here. They shored up their defense. Let's see if all these picks pan out. But in terms of just what they need and what they got, the defense was really what they needed, and they went and shored that up. So A-, really kind of the Semi Fayoko pick, picking this up from a B- to an A+, honestly. And that's how big I feel about Semi Fayoko. He's going to be great in this league. Alrighty, and then the last team here in the NFC East here is the Eagles. So let's see what they did. They went and traded up in round 1 to get Devontae Smith, who I wish the Dolphins got. So I'm a little jealous that the Eagles ended up getting him, but a great pickup there. I think he's going to be the best wide receiver in this year's draft. And then honestly, I think Kadarius Toney is going to be number 2, outpacing Jamar Chase. And then Jamar Chase number 3, and then probably Jalen Waddle 4. That's just how I see it, but we'll see what happens this season, obviously. Second round pick, they go Landon Dickerson, center. Third round pick, they go Milton Williams, defensive tackle. Fourth round pick, they go Zach McPherson, cornerback. Fifth round pick, they get Kenneth Gainwell, a running back, a really kind of head scratcher pick. I'm a real big fan of Miles Sanders here for this Eagles team. And like we said, there's really no good running backs in this year's draft class, folks. There's 2 good ones, and that's it. Everybody else is probably going to be absolutely garbage. So fifth round pick, picking up the running back, not my favorite decision. Sixth round pick, they go defensive tackle. Sixth round pick again, they go defensive end. Sixth round pick again, they go safety. And then their last pick in the 7th round, Patrick Johnson, outside linebacker. So this Eagles team is rocking with Jalen Hurts. He's going to be the quarterback, folks. So they obviously didn't need to go get a quarterback there. I do kind of like the aggressive pick. Jalen Reagor played out fantastically last year for this Eagles team. How many yards did he have? He only had 396 yards last year? Is that right? Wow. Did he play in all these games? I thought Jalen Reagor got it done last year. I guess he did not. Interesting. Alrighty. I guess I was wrong on that one. That one's my own narrative. I thought he was doing good. Alrighty, so we'll see, how Jalen Reagor does this season. Devontae Smith, now is going to have, a huge, good, successful year potentially, coming in instantly being the number 1 wide receiver. Greg Ward as well, that's why I like this pick. I mean, they don't really have any great wide receivers, and when you're kind of, mentoring a quarterback and, kind of trying to prepare or just kind of, I don't want to say groom because I don't really like that word, but when you're trying to, elevate Jalen Hurts from, year 1 to year 2, you got to have some weapons out here. I mean, that was Tua's downfall last year, not having the good weapons. So Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Miles Sanders, I am a big fan of, so decent offensive weapons here. Defensively, Darius Slay at the corner. I like that. They got Fletcher Cox still, Brandon Graham. But, kind of focusing a little. They were all over the field. I mean, what do we get? Wide receiver, center, defensive tackle, corner, running back, defensive tackle, defensive end, safety, outside linebacker. So nothing truly specific here. Just kind of, taking their, their pick at every position, hoping that they all pick out. But we're going to give this one a solid B. I love the Devontae Smith pickup. Everything else was just kind of, all right, just solid pickup. Nothing else truly great here for this Eagles team. So we'll give them a B. See how they go. Nick Sirianni didn't do the greatest in this year's draft, but we'll see how all these players pan out for this Eagles team. But we'll give them a B for their draft. Alrighty. All right, let's see if anything's breaking. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. But let's see if anything has been breaking. Alrighty. Nothing so far. Steven Adams is listed as doubtful today, so a little unfortunate for this Pelicans team, but we still like them. That just means Jackson Hayes probably gets more burn, and we are all about that. Alrighty, anybody else? Any breaking news? Does not seem like it. Alrighty, well, that is going to do it for us today. We're back tomorrow doing it all over again, probably looking at the NFC, let's just say West, maybe. 3 more divisions to go to finally finish up our drafts. Alrighty, now that is going to do it for us today. Alrighty, folks, we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We're back tomorrow. Hopefully you will be as well. Alrighty, we're out of here.